y'all, Jay here from Jay's Decor and Restore. And as you can see, I have a new member of the family. Her name is Lexi, and we rescued Lexi. Oh, she likes to lick a lot. We rescued Lexi from the Animal Defense League about a month ago. She's brought us so much joy and a lot of late nights and early mornings of potty training, but that's another story. Anyway, Lexi and I are headed to College Station for a week, and I'm going to be working on backsplash. I'm sure Lexi will be there for moral support. So if you recall, I did the countertops about 2 months ago, and I was going to return to finish the backsplash. And now I now have some time to get out there before school starts and the kids get busy again. So Lexi are headed for a 3-hour drive, but she likes the car, so I'm sure we're gonna have a great time. So we'll see you there. Well, Lexi and I made it to College Station, and as you can see, I've already started taping the countertops and around the cabinets because I plan to paint the walls. I wanted you to see what it looks like before I actually start working on the backsplash. So I will be back as we get ready to do the vinyl. Okay, so we're going to get started with cleaning the back of the wall here where I'm going to add that backsplash. Since there is paint already on the wall, it is required, or I should say not required, but recommended that you sand down the paint because it is latex. Otherwise, the vinyl may end up peeling off. So what you really want to just do just a very light sanding of the wall. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that here. And you just want to roughen up the area. Okay, so I've roughened up the area. The paint's still on, so it's okay though, because I just made sure that it was kind of rough, so it's not as smooth as it was before. Now what's important is once you're done there, you're going to want to clean this off with like an all-purpose cleaner. And then also you're going to want to wait about 24 hours so that it really dries well, so that when you place the vinyl on there, it will adhere very, very well. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean that off and wipe it down with a cloth, and then just come back tomorrow when it's all nice and dry. Well, I'm back and I'm ready to start putting the vinyl self-adhesive tile on the back of this wall. Now it's nice and clean. I've smoothed it out, as you saw in the part yesterday that I did, and let it dry for 24 hours after I cleaned it off with a all-purpose cleaner. So the self-adhesive tile I bought is from Walmart, and it's art3d.com. Really pretty tile, and the price was great because these can get quite expensive. So this is what it looks like, and it's going to really pull in the countertop with the cabinets and the painting that I just did. I didn't videotape the painting because honestly, you've seen me paint before, and I was just painting walls. So the first thing, some of the things that you want to have are your scissors, because you're going to cut off some of these edges as you come up to the flat part of the wall, where the walls meet, the joints meet. And then also, I bought some Gorilla spray adhesive so that I can ensure that it's going to stay on the wall. And you know, while this is sticky, sometimes the adhesive on the back of these tiles doesn't tend to last very long. So I'm going to go ahead and get started doing that. And the first thing I want to do is I need to cut off, as you can see here, it needs to stay flush to the end of the wall here. So I'm going to cut off these little bits right here. And it's really easy to do with a pair of scissors. And you're basically going to follow where the other tile begins. So just cut off these edges. So I've cut these edges off, and it's fairly straight. I mean, and it's okay if it sticks out a little, but that's really what tile looks like. So you kind of want to make it as authentic as you can with, you know, the tile look. So the next thing I do, let me move this. And I lay down some paper here so that I don't spray the countertop, because this is quite sticky. And I pull off the back, being very careful not to touch too much of the adhesive. And you shake your spray adhesive really, really well. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hold it about 6 inches from the actual tile here. So, and you spray it evenly. And then you let it sit for about a minute. And the great thing about this is that it is, you can reposition it if you have to. You have about 10 minutes before it actually adheres to the wall. So that is one of the things you want to look for when you have spray adhesive. I will be right back, let this set a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now we're ready. Now the front of the vinyl tile has a film which you want to keep on until you have placed your tile where you want it, and I'll show you why. So we're going to put this right here, and I'm going to make sure that it's right up against the wall and up against the counter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scraper and very gently, and that's why you want to keep the film on, because it will allow you to move the scraper back and forth much easier. So you want to make sure you put it on, you know, scrape it or flatten it to the wall so it adheres. Alright, so now I'm ready to take my film off. And that's our first piece. Okay, so then the next thing is taking, and the great thing is it's so self-explanatory because it has joints that will meet here. So you basically are going to just align it to your previous tile, and that's how you position the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then when I come back, I'm going to show you how to cut around the outlet. So let me do that, and then I will be right back. All right, now we have the second piece up, and now we're going to do the outlet. Now you want to be very, very careful, because obviously you do not want to cut into the outlet, or especially since I'm going to be using a utility knife. So be very careful. I start with first aligning it, and I have some tape here because I know that I'm going to want to tape so that it remains a straight line, because it does, since you have your outlet there, it creates a natural bump, and you want to keep it exactly where it needs to start, at the very top. So I'm taping it here. Tape it down here. Right there. Okay, just to be sure, I went ahead and I marked where the outlet cutout starts with a green marker, and because I have cut before one other piece that was too big. So we want to make sure that we keep it so that the plate will cover up part of the outlet or the vinyl. Okay, so very carefully, I know it starts here. I'm going to cut across. Okay, so I know at least where I start. I don't want to keep cutting because I don't want to cut the areas I don't want it to scratch up some of the other vinyl. So now I'm going to take a cutting board, since I forgot my mat at home, and with a ruler so I can hold it in place. I'm going to continue to actually cut through. All right, fingers crossed that I cut it right. It looks about right there, so let's see here before I adhere it. I'll tape it down, and let's see. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere it, and then I'll, continue down the wall. I'm going to put the faceplate back on, and then I'm going to come back, and there's some areas up here that I'm going to need to very strategically cut so that it goes all the way up to the cabinet. So let me finish this. I don't want to bore you with going down the straight line. You've seen me do the outlet. I will be back as we get to some other parts that you will need to know how to do. All right, so the first layer has gone up, and look how beautiful that looks. So now you see the gap underneath the microwave, and then of course underneath the cabinet. So I'm going to go ahead and get my camera ready so that I can videotape how I'm going to fill in that part. Okay, hopefully you can see from this angle. This is about as close as I can get it while still trying to show you how I'm working around this. So here is where the end of the cabinet, the bottom, this is the bottom of the cabinet where it ends here. And what I want to do is I need to get around this space. So here I'm very fortunate that this part here will fit right back there. Okay, so all I need to do now is just cut so that this edge, these little, I only need like 3 rows, will line up to the edge of this one here. Now, in the event that you don't have a situation like that and you do need to cut around the cabinet, what you're going to want to do is probably the best thing to do is just start like you did when you were flush against the wall and just cut off the edge and then just go flush against the cabinet. And then you can always insert a small piece. Luckily, these are little rectangles that you can just kind of cut and fit there. But I won't have to worry about doing that. So all I need to do now is just, I already marked the back knowing where I need to start cutting. And so that is what I'm going to do now. Show you here. And this was one of the pieces that I messed up on the outlet. So I saved it knowing that I would need to use bits and pieces for patchwork here and there. So, and I've already marked it, so I'm just going to start just cutting it. And I want to get as straight as I can, just so that they're going to line up. So let me do that. I'll finish. I'm just going to stop talking so I can fast forward. Okay, so let's see how that's going to work. Let me realign that camera again so you could see. And it looks good. I just need to use both hands, and in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to turn off the camera for a little bit. But anyway, all I need to do at this point is just now follow the same pattern, is go across, doing exactly what I did on the bigger parts of the back of the wall. So I will come back as I finish it up and show you the entire kitchen. Well, the kitchen makeover is finally finished. And the entire makeover cost me about $250, and I couldn't have been happier with the end result. Now, typically I'm standing in front of the camera when I finish a project, but the air conditioning went out the afternoon after I finished it, so I am in a hurry to get home where there is AC. And I want to thank you for joining me on this in this project. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And as you can see, my little Lexi is exhausted after supporting me through this endeavor, so we are headed home.